Hey there, this is Avalon from Crafts Direct, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can make this resin geode coaster. This project contains all the glitter, all the sparkles, everything you could possibly want in a project, and it turned out really cool. I was shocked to see how almost iridescent the coasters kind of turned out and how they change and reflect different colors based on the light that hits them. Follow along and I will show you step by step how you can make this project. The first thing you are going to do is set up your workspace. You will need a drop cloth for your table. I'm going to use an extra mat, but it's definitely not necessary. All you need for sure is a drop cloth on your table. You will then need to put on your gloves and then make sure you have proper ventilation. You'll want to have some windows open, a fan, and maybe even use a mask. Grab your resin. There should be 2 bottles, one labeled A side, one labeled B side. You will then grab 2 small cups and label them with a Sharpie, one with an A and one with a B. Fill the cup with the A label on it with the bottle that says A side. You will then do the same with B. And you just want to make sure that you have equal parts both A and B. It's really helpful if you put the cups side by side so that you can make sure that they are level. For this project, we are going to need quite a bit of resin, so we're going to fill the cups about 3/4 of the way up. Pour both A and B into a little bit bigger cup, so I have a mixing cup, otherwise you can use a larger plastic cup, and you will put both of them into a cup and then mix them together. This is an important part. You are going to want to stir the mixture slowly because you don't want to create any extra bubbles. So you will stir your resin together slowly for about 3 minutes. Once you first start stirring your resin, you'll notice how cloudy the mixture is, and you can kind of see the 2 separate parts. But once the 3 minutes is up, you should notice that your resin is much clearer and it should look like it's just one substance. Once those 3 minutes are up and your resin is looking good, you will then divide your resin into small cups. It's up to you how many you want to use, but I personally used 6 small cups to divide up my resin. Next, you are going to put dyes and mix-ins into your resin. To start, you are going to use some gold glitter to put in one, and then mix it together with a stir stick. Next, you will add the blush dye. I wanted this one to be really saturated, so you're going to use about 10 to 12 drops. And then the resin next to it, you'll use that same dye, but just use a drop or 2. You want this to be a lighter color. Then you will use the pink dye, and in the first one you will use about 10 drops, and then the one next to it you'll just use a drop or 2. Again, you want one to be a darker color and one to be lighter. And in the last resin cup you are going to use pink glitter and mix it all together. Now we are ready to pour our resin into the mold, and to start we're going to use our gold glitter mixture and put a ring around the inside and the very outer part of the mold. If you want the rings of your agate to be really distinct and you don't want the colors to sort of blend together, I'd suggest that you do this in small batches. So what you should do is then mix together a small thing of resin, just add the gold glitter, and then lay out the rings where you want them in the mold, and then let it cure completely so that it's hardened and doesn't mix with the other colors. If you don't care as much about that, then you can just do it the way I am and mix all the resin at once. Once you have the outside and inside rings defined, you will then go back in with your pink colors and fill in the rest of the mold. I like to kind of keep with this ring pattern and put my colors in a circle when I do each one. Once you fill the mold to the top with resin, you will then take your heat gun and apply heat to the top of the resin. This helps pop any bubbles. And you will then let your resin cure for about 24 hours before you pull it out of the mold. Wash your mold out and make sure that it is completely dry before you use it again. And then you can follow the same steps to create another geode coaster. For this next one, we are going to use blush dye, pink sparkles, and white sparkles. Start with the white glitter, and you will fill in a ring in the very middle of the mold and then the very outside of the mold. And then from there, you will fill the rest of the mold with your other colors, and just making sure that you are going around in those rings to fill the top of the mold. Once the mold is filled to the top with resin, you will then take your heat gun and apply heat to the top of the resin to help pop any bubbles. And then you will let the mold sit for 24 hours to completely cure. And once those 24 hours are up, you can pull the resin out of the mold, and now your coasters are ready to be used. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can shop all the products needed to make this project at craftsdirect.com/projects.